While popular culture focuses on male mob bosses and cartel kings, some of the world's most dangerous criminal organizations are run by women who operate in complete silence. These female crime bosses don't seek attention or flash their wealth. They build billion-dollar empires while remaining virtually invisible to law enforcement and the public. Unlike their male counterparts, these women excel at maintaining legitimate public identities while coordinating complex international criminal operations. They control drug routes, human trafficking networks, and money laundering schemes that span continents, all while appearing to be respectable businesswomen, social media influencers, or community leaders. For years, organized crime has been perceived as a man's world. Movies and media showcase male mob bosses, cartel kings, and gang leaders, but the reality is far more shocking. Some of the most powerful criminal minds today are women, and they're not just helping their husbands or brothers, they're running entire operations themselves. These women control drug routes worth millions of dollars, decide who lives and dies, and move money across continents without leaving fingerprints. The most frightening aspect is that most remain active, still building their empire. Samantha Lewthwaite, the White Widow. Born in England, Samantha Lewthwaite lived a normal life until marrying a man who participated in the 2005 London train bombings that killed 52 innocent people. After her husband died in the attack, she could have chosen a quiet life raising her children. Instead, she made a shocking decision to follow his path. Samantha moved to Africa and joined Al-Shabaab, a terrorist organization in Somalia. Rather than becoming a regular fighter, she evolved into something far more valuable: their money manager, logistics expert, and connection to the outside world. Her British appearance and perfect English allow her to travel through European countries without raising suspicion. She uses these advantages to raise money for terrorist attacks and purchase weapons for her organization. But Samantha is more than just a terrorist. She's a sophisticated businesswoman running several legitimate companies that hide her illegal activity. She owns import-export businesses moving goods across African borders while maintaining connections with gold miners, diamond dealers, and arms smugglers. Operating from Somalia or South Sudan in 2025, intelligence agencies believe she's funding terrorist attacks across East Africa while also engaging in human trafficking, moving people across borders and selling them into slavery. Multiple plastic surgeries have changed her appearance repeatedly, and she carries various fake passports, allowing her to disappear into any crowd. Most terrifying is that Samantha isn't just surviving, she's growing more powerful. Recent reports show she's building connections between terrorist groups in different countries, helping them share money, weapons, and information. She's becoming a central figure in global terrorism finance. Mama G, the social media predator. Operating across Ghana and Nigeria, Mama G presents herself as a successful businesswoman with millions of social media followers, selling beauty products and herbal medicines while appearing on television shows discussing women's empowerment. This public image conceals one of West Africa's largest human trafficking operations. She advertises employment opportunities for young women in her beauty and wellness businesses, promising good pay, training, and travel opportunity. Hundreds of desperate young women apply monthly for these positions. Selected women are told they'll work in spas and beauty centers, but are instead taken to other countries and forced into prostitution. Some victims are sent to Europe, others to the Middle East, while some remain in Africa but are moved far from their family. Mama G cleverly uses her social media platforms to show happy, successful women working in her businesses, posting videos of training sessions, graduations, and success stories. To outsiders, she appears to help women succeed. Investigative reporters have uncovered a different reality through interviews with escaped victims. These women describe horrifying experiences of being trapped, beaten, and forced into sexual slavery. They tell stories of being moved between countries, never knowing their location or how to return home. When arrested in early 2025 with overwhelming evidence, all charges were mysteriously dropped within 48 hours. Evidence disappeared, Key witnesses changed their stories and Mama G walked free. Rumors suggest powerful political intervention or massive bribes secured her release. She continues operating while maintaining her public persona, likely still trafficking women and destroying lives. Isabella, the new generation cartel leader. In Miami, a woman called Isabella learned from Griselda Blanco, the infamous queen of cocaine from the Blanco was responsible for hundreds of murders and controlled much of the cocaine trade between Colombia and the United States until her death in Isabella was one of Blanco's students, learning organization, enemy elimination and staying ahead of police investigation. When Blanco died, Isabella was ready to inherit and modernize the operation. Unlike traditional cartels, Isabella focuses on fentanyl rather than cocaine, which brings too much police attention. Fentanyl is more profitable and easier to hide, and she avoids violence unless absolutely necessary. Her smuggling network recruits aspiring social media influencers, offering to pay for travel, clothes and photo shoots in exchange for carrying packages they believe contain cosmetics or supplements for Isabella's beauty business. These unknowing couriers post happy vacation photos while transporting fentanyl worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Isabella launders profits through cryptocurrency and fake online businesses that appear to sell beauty products and supplements legitimate. On paper, these businesses generate millions in legitimate sales, but most income derives from drug trafficking. Despite years of DEA investigation, her careful methods and protective network have kept her beyond legal reach. Barbara Madame B, the corporate criminal. In Chicago, Barbara transformed from a South Side bartender into Madame B, controlling major drug distribution routes from Indiana to Alabama. Her story begins in the early 2000s when gang violence was decimating local criminal leadership. Barbara realized someone needed to take control, and she decided that someone would be her. Starting with protection services for local businesses, store owners, restaurant managers and club owners paid monthly fees for genuine effective protection through her criminal underworld connection. As her reputation grew, Barbara expanded into coordinating drug sales between gangs, settling disputes without violence, and becoming the go-to problem solver. By 2020, she controlled several major distribution routes, while taking percentages from every transaction in her territory. She also expanded into illegal gambling, weapons sales and money laundering. What distinguishes Barbara from other crime bosses is her business approach, treating her criminal organization like a legitimate company with accounting systems, employee benefits, and retirement plans for loyal workers. Barbara understands political connections' importance, donating money to local politicians, supporting community programs, and maintaining relationships with police officers and judges. This protective network helps shield her from serious legal consequence. In 2025, the DEA suspects she's moved into online crime, operating illegal gambling websites and cryptocurrency exchanges, while using dating apps and social media for recruitment. The scope of female organized crime extends globally. In Italy, women connected to traditional mafia families are assuming leadership roles as male leaders face arrest or death. These women focus on financial crimes and corruption rather than violence, becoming experts in money laundering through luxury fashion companies. One Italian woman whose identity remains protected by authorities runs a major money laundering operation through luxury fashion companies. She uses high-end clothing stores to hide illegal money movement from drug sales, with money used to purchase expensive clothes and accessories sold to customers in other countries, depositing profits in legitimate bank accounts. Her fashion business also facilitates communication between criminal organizations, with orders for specific items serving as coded messages about drug shipments, weapons deliveries and other illegal activities. Female mafia leaders often maintain better legitimate public identities, attending church regularly and participating in community events while appearing as respectable businesswomen. In South Africa, Queen Coke built her empire around trucking companies that transport legitimate goods, while hiding drugs, weapons and illegal cargo. Her trucks carry cocaine from South America across African borders, utilizing her knowledge of corrupt border guards, safe roads and weak port security. She employs primarily women as drivers and coordinators, believing them more reliable and less suspicious to authority. Recent intelligence suggests expansion into Europe through African immigrants, with legal European status establishing distribution networks in major cities. In Philadelphia, Ms. Philly specializes in illegal weapons trafficking, exploiting differences in state gun law. She purchases firearms legally in states with weak controls and transports them to cities with strict laws but high illegal demand. Her system avoids detection through multiple fake identities for weapon purchases, buying only 1 or 2 guns at a time to avoid suspicion. She then uses female couriers to transport weapons to final destinations. Most dangerously, she supplies not only gang members but also domestic terrorists, hate groups and extremist organizations. Law enforcement agencies have attempted to identify Philly for years, but she's extremely careful about protecting her identity. She never uses traceable phones or internet communications, only meets trusted intermediaries, and frequently changes appearance and location. Near the Texas-Mexico border, Rosa Rivera maintains a double life as a registered nurse and smuggling coordinator. Her medical training makes her invaluable for treating injured smugglers and migrants, while helping people hide drugs inside bodies for border crossing. Rosa recruits healthcare workers to assist criminal organizations and uses her knowledge of border patrol schedules and security weaknesses to plan operations. Her network of medical professionals, doctors, nurses, and technicians provides services to criminal organizations in exchange for money, keeping smuggling operations running smooth. The social media revolution in criminal operations. In Mexico, Tania Escobar, daughter of a cartel member, leverages millions of Instagram and TikTok followers to coordinate criminal activities through coded messaging. To fans, she appears as a lifestyle influencer posting about fashion, travel, and beauty. Intelligence agencies believe her social media posts contain coded messages, coordinating criminal activities. When Tania posts cooking videos about specific dishes, it might signal drug shipment readiness. Photos from particular locations might indicate safe meeting places for criminal associates. Her social media presence also serves as recruitment, with young women sometimes approached by criminal organizations after following her glamorous lifestyle portrayal. This social media usage represents fundamental changes in criminal organization operation. Traditional communication methods like phone calls and face-to-face meetings can be monitored by law enforcement, but social media posts appearing to be about normal life are much harder to decode and investigate. Why women excel in modern criminal enterprise. Several factors contribute to the rise of female crime bosses. Law enforcement has traditionally focused on male criminals, creating opportunities for women to operate with less scrutiny. Women often prove more effective at certain crimes, being less likely to be searched at borders, suspected of criminal activity, or distrusted by victims. Technology-driven crimes favor intelligence over physical strength, areas where women often excel. Cybercrime, cryptocurrency laundering, and social media manipulation represent growth areas in criminal activity. Many female crime bosses experienced significant early trauma, poverty, domestic violence, or family loss, but chose to become predators rather than victims. They learned to exploit society's assumptions about women being nurturing and harmless, creating blind spots that skilled female criminals can exploit. The global nature of modern crime also favors women in international criminal organizations, needing people who can travel easily, communicate effectively, and build trust with partners in different countries. Law enforcement adaptation and challenges. Authorities are beginning to adapt to this new reality. The past 2 years have seen increased numbers of women charged in major criminal cases, with federal prosecutors creating specialized units focused on female-led organizations. However, catching these women remains extremely difficult. They're more careful about avoiding detection, better at maintaining legitimate identities, and more sophisticated in hiding activities than male counterparts. Psychological profiles reveal interesting patterns. Many experienced significant trauma early in life but chose to become predators rather than victims, using intelligence, charm, and psychological understanding to build criminal empire. Several trends suggest continued growth in female criminal leadership. Increasing economic inequality creates desperate situations driving people toward crime. The drug trade's growing sophistication favors business skills over physical strength. Climate change and political instability create more refugees and migrants, increasing human trafficking opportunities. Technology continues creating new crimes requiring intelligence and creativity rather than violence. All these factors indicate more women will assume criminal leadership roles requiring law enforcement to develop new strategies and techniques. Looking toward the future, illegal drug trade sophistication, technology-driven crime growth and global instability creating vulnerable populations all suggest expanded opportunities for intelligent, adaptable criminals, qualities these women possess in abundance. These female crime bosses represent a fundamental shift from traditional loud, violent male leadership to quiet, calculated intelligence. They've demonstrated that real criminal power comes from being the smartest and most invisible rather than the loudest or most violent. The women profiled La Negra, Samantha Luthwaite, Mama G, Isabella, Barbara and others have successfully avoided consequences while expanding operations. They operate in plain sight behind legitimate businesses and respectable public images, proving that the most dangerous criminals are often those never suspected. Their success demonstrates that future criminal organizations will be more sophisticated, international and difficult to detect than previous generations. They've mastered hiding in plain sight, perhaps the most dangerous skill of all. The age of flashy male crime bosses is ending, replaced by women who prefer operating in shadows while building carefully planned empires. These women don't seek fame, they want power, money, and control over their destinies, and they're achieving exactly that. What makes them most terrifying isn't their individual crimes but what they represent: a new model of criminal leadership, more sophisticated, international, and difficult to stop than anything seen before. The battle between these female crime bosses and law enforcement represents a new phase in the war against organized crime. As long as they continue operating invisibly, building empires one calculated step at a time, they'll remain nearly impossible to stop. They've shown that future criminal success requires intelligence, patience, and the ability to build trust and loyalty rather than physical strength or traditional masculine traits. The criminals who succeed in the future will be those who can adapt to new technologies, build international networks, and operate across multiple jurisdictions simultaneously. These women are pioneers in this new type of criminal activity, showing others that it's possible to build powerful criminal organizations without relying on traditional methods. This creates both opportunities and dangers, representing a new model of criminal leadership that will shape the future of crime and justice worldwide.